So here's a wild idea. What if we rebuilt the internet browser? But not for us, not for humans, but for artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to dive into a project that's doing exactly that. And trust me, the implications are absolutely massive.
You've probably felt this yourself, right? You ask your digital assistant to do something that seems simple, like book a flight or order your groceries, and it just fumbles. It gets stuck, it makes mistakes, or it just plain gives up. It feels so clunky. So why is it that these super smart AIs struggle with tasks that are a piece of cake for us?
Well, here's the best way to think about it. It's like they're trying to use the internet with oven mitts on. Seriously, today's AI agents are interacting with a world, with a web, that was never, ever built for them. They're trying to use browsers, tools designed for human eyes and human hands, and it's just a terrible fit. The whole process is indirect, it's slow, and it's completely prone to error.
So right now, the way an agent sees a web page is by, basically taking screenshots or trying to interpret these accessibility layers. That's the code that helps screen readers for visually impaired folks. And look, it's a clever workaround, but it's super inefficient and it breaks all the time. A project called Chromium wants to just tear all that down. The mission is to give the AI direct access to see, to act, and to truly understand what's happening on the web.
So what's the big solution? Well, it's called Chromium. It is, quite literally, a browser built for bots.
Okay, so what is this thing? Chromium is a special experimental build of Chromium, which is the engine that powers Google Chrome. But here's the crucial part. It is not just another browser. The whole point is for it to be a new substrate, like a foundational layer that AI agents can be built directly on top of.
And it gets there by focusing on three key things. First, direct perception. This lets the AI see what's on the screen instantly, with basically zero lag. Second, high-fidelity action. This lets the AI click and type with insane machine-level precision. And finally, deep state awareness, giving it a real, structural understanding of the web page, not just what the pixels look like.
Now, that all sounds fantastic in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
The architecture uses these really cool biological analogies that make a ton of sense. You've got a visual cortex for seeing, an auditory cortex for hearing, and then an agent core, which is like the local brain running a vision model that processes all this incoming information. Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. The secret sauce here is this idea of zero copy. Normally, an AI has to take a screenshot, save that file, and then load it back up. It's this slow, clunky process. Chromium totally changes the game. It gives the AI's visual cortex direct shared memory access to the browser's GPU buffer. That's the place where the final image of the website is actually being drawn. So there's no copying, no saving, no loading. It's like the AI is looking directly at the canvas as the artist is painting. And that means there's practically no delay.
And the result of that is just staggering. The AI can perceive the screen at over 60 frames per second. That's the same speed as your monitor's refresh rate. It is seeing the web in true real time, which completely eliminates one of the biggest bottlenecks holding AI agents back today.
But this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. Because building amazing technology is one thing. Turning it into a successful, viable project, that's a whole different ballgame.
At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I get it. It's a faster, better browser for bots. But is that enough? Is that a real product?
And the blunt, honest answer from the strategic analysis is nope. A faster browser for AI on its own is a really cool feature, but it's not a fundable business. The real value here isn't in the browser itself.
To get why, you have to look at how these agents work today. You have a big AI model, like GPT, sending commands to a web automation tool, something like Playwright or a Puppeteer, which then tries to control a normal browser. See that middle layer? That's the problem. It's the bottleneck. It's slow, it's brittle, and it's expensive to run.
So this is where the big strategic pivot comes in. The vision for Chromium isn't to be just another application. It's to become the fundamental platform, the foundation for the entire AI agent industry.
This means the project has a very clear list of what not to do. Don't waste time adding shiny buttons or UI polish. Don't even try to compete with Chrome on user features. And absolutely do not pitch this as a browser for everyday people. This is deep, deep tech infrastructure.
So here's the real play. The goal is to build the runtime that every other company, from OpenAI all the way down to the smallest startups, will use to build their own AI agents. It's about becoming the essential underlying plumbing for everyone else.
A really powerful way to think about this is as the Kubernetes for agents.
A standard, reliable system that manages and orchestrates how all these different AIs interact with the digital world.
But maybe the best analogy, the one that really hits home, is this. It's aiming to be the CUDA for computer using AI. Think about it. NVIDIA's CUDA was the software layer that unlocked the power of GPUs for the AI revolution. Neural Chromium could be the very same thing that unlocks the web for the agent revolution.
And it all comes back to this one single powerful idea. The way we're doing it now is just flawed at its core. We're forcing these incredibly smart agents to pretend to be dumb humans. The future isn't about better pretending. It's about building a new environment where they can operate as they are, natively. And that leaves us with a really provocative final thought. We're not just looking at a better tool for AI here. We might be witnessing the very first steps toward an entirely new kind of internet, one that's designed from the ground up, not for people, but for artificial intelligence. So, what happens when the web's primary user is no longer human?